One of the most powerful things my therapist ever said to me back when I was engaged and paying thousands of dollars to talk to her every week about every different nook and cranny of the same tired ass dynamic and why it sucked was, and what if nothing changes? What if he doesn't change? The dynamic doesn't, what if it's just this? You still want to get married? You still want to be in this your entire life? What if nothing changes? Because of course the answer was no. No. I was there hoping it would change. And everyone wants to have this high dream, like, oh, relationships are where we change, that we change in relationships, and the reflection of the other person shows us the places where we need to grow. And then because we're in this loving container, the container holds us to do our deep alchemical growth work. And I ain't seen it. I haven't seen it. I'm sure it happens once in a blue moon or whatever, but I have seen way more of the opposite. And actually, when people are in a relationship and they polarize on something, they hunker down. They hunker down deeper. And the relationship almost keeps them in it. Especially men. Especially men. You're trying to point this thing out to them. They don't want to look at it. It brings up their shame. They don't want to change. That takes work. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. The only language that men understand is action. And you wouldn't believe the number of men where the main thing that they report when a woman breaks up with them is shock. They're shocked. They're blindsided. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're unhappy for years. I was talking with my ex all the time. I took him to couples counseling over and over again. I kept saying, we need to address this. We need to address this. I'm so miserable. And when I left, shocked. Because he's like, well, you were there. I thought we were talking about it. I thought we were working it out. He would have stayed in his holding pattern, resisting me, happily, getting all the goodies of me still being there, cooking for him, cleaning him, loving him, having boop, 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 boop time with him, going in the up and down. Men can live, they have a very low quality of life. I think that most men are very happy to stay in really miserable relationships for a very, very long time. And because you're there, they're getting some good benefit. And because the relationship itself is like keeping each of you hunkered in your roles, right? Like even the attachment style stuff, right? If someone's being anxious at you, it makes you avoidant. If someone's being avoidant at you, it makes you anxious. Everyone wants to believe like, oh, the relationship is where the change is going to come. I haven't seen it, because change happens when people have a really deep intrinsic desire to change, or when their life circumstances get so bad that it forces them to change. And if you are there living in a low grade, shitty ass relationship with a guy, you're actually keeping his life from getting bad enough that it would force him to change. I can't even tell you the amount of guys where I break up with them, my friend breaks up with them, and all of a sudden, all the things that, you know, she was trying to get him to do for years and years and years, there he goes and does. Now he's going to the gym. Now he's getting on antidepressant medication. Now he's willing to go on a trip somewhere for the love of God. Now he's reaching out to his male friends. The relationship was keeping him there. Him being able to just resist you was actually stopping him from the change that he needs. That's why I'm a big believer in rebirth. One, first of all, if a man knows that you might leave, I think it actually creates a little bit more fire under his butt to actually make those changes. But like you're saying, those changes need to be coming from him. No one really changes for another person. Maybe there's like some like happy confluence where those two things come together. But like the change that sticks is the change that you want for you, for yourself. It has to be that internally motivated locus. Otherwise, it's just performative. And when you leave, that's when a person has to face themselves and they get in touch with that thing in them that might actually want to change for them. And so I do think there's this potential for like a rebirth that can happen for anybody post-breakup, because you have to look in the mirror. You have to face you again, as opposed to just looking in this partner that you get to like polarize and blame and make them wrong and make them critical and still be getting all the good stuff from anyway. And yes, to your last point here, real change, real transformation takes hella long. It takes hella long to be doing that. It takes a lot of investment. It takes a lot of work. And also, maybe it's easier to do that when you're not with someone. You know, Like maybe you can kind of like leapfrog in your personal development more when you're not with someone. You know how it's like with your family, they're always like keeping you in the same story and seeing you in that way. And then when you go and see them again, you like regress. Even with your friends, it's like I have to constantly be like updating my ideas of who my friends is and not just imposing this memory of how they were 5 years ago onto who they are now. Real change takes wanting it, having time for it, having the circumstances to allow you to do it. And for real, if you're just in a relationship thinking that someone's gonna change, just being like, I'll be here if they change, then that's delusional. It's delusional. You're living in a fantasy. They're not that way now. He's not that way now. And I don't care. These men will blow the wool over your eyes and they'll breadcrumb you along and they'll say, I will change. I want to change. I want that too. The only language is action. Are they taking action towards that? Is there congruence between their words and their actions? I ain't seen it. Every once in a while, sure, every once in a while, sure. But mostly people are like, yeah, and then the entropy and the monotony and the holding pattern take over. And if you're out here just waiting for that guy to change, then you're not being able, then you're giving your life. Then you're wasting your life, girl, you're wasting your life.